Alright, so here in front of me, I have this Lincoln Power MiG 210 MP. Some of you guys have seen it in some of my other videos, and if you've watched some of my recent welding videos, you would know that this thing is not feeding correctly. So when you have a MIG welder that's not feeding correctly, there are a few different options of things, there's a list of different things that could be wrong with your welder that you want to check out to make sure if it's working or not to correct that issue. The first thing you should check is probably your drive rolls and your drive roll tension. What that consists of is inside of here. On this particular welder, you got to take this cover off. Most of them don't have this little fancy guide cover thing. But inside of there, you have two little drive rolls that pretty much pull wire off the spool and push it up to your MIG gun. There's a tensioner system on it. This particular one is right here. Most other welders are very similar, but maybe not exact. What this does is it clamps this upper drive roll to the lower, like so. And if the tension is not set right, it's not going to feed correctly. If the drive rolls are not the correct size and type, it also may not feed correctly. If everything checks out, your drive rolls and your drive roll types match your wire that you're using, and your tension is set correctly, the next thing to check is probably your gun liner. Inside your whip, there's something, this is in a bag still, but it's going to look like this. This is inside your MIG gun, running from the machine up to your gun. Sometimes those wear out or get things stuck in them, or you might not have the correct sized liner. But if you do have a brand new liner and it's the correct size and type, the next thing, I guess, to check is you may have a MIG gun with too long of a hose or a lead or whatever. If this machine here was only made to push 10 foot of wire, if you put a 25-foot gun on it, yes, it will be convenient, but the motor is not big enough to push wire with that much resistance. And I think I have had that problem when I put a 15-foot gun on this when it came with a 10-foot gun. Currently I have a 6-foot gun on it, and that's all it'll push. It won't push to the 10, it won't push to the 15. So after checking everything out, the last thing I guess that could be wrong, unless it's something internally with the electronics, is your drive assembly and your drive motor. And that's what I'm going to try to replace today. This is the spare part. So this machine is not all that old. It's only like 4 years old. I don't use it every day, but I do use it some, and it's out of warranty. So I was thinking about just replacing the welder itself, but with the price of things nowadays, elected for just a component level repair, or I guess a system level, not the whole unit. So yeah, first step for doing this on this machine is to unplug it, try to drain the capacitors. It's been sitting for, I don't know, at least a week now without being plugged in. So they should be okay. And after that, there's all these screws around the case. So we're just going to go ahead and pop all of them off, remove the door, and then I'm assuming the front panel or the front face has to go that way. So I'm going to remove the MIG gun and also anything attached to the front of this. And we're going to see what's all on the inside. Alright, so I got the cover off this machine. If you're doing this, don't be scared of taking the cover off. It's not super scary. There's just a lot of these little screws. Most of them are 5/16 hex head. And then there's also a Phillips head screw in both ends of the handle. You gotta pop open your little storage bins to find them. And this is what you're left with. It's not too super complicated. You got your circuit board here with a bunch of cooling towers. You got an area here for your screen and whatever's behind the screen. I'm guessing another circuit board of some sorts. In the back, you got your fans, which these fans have already been replaced. They just unclip here and unscrew. Those are a super simple job. This is your gas line that runs to the argon, and then this is your solenoid, I believe. I think they have an empty slot here so you can hook up a TIG pedal. When you hook up the TIG package on this machine, I believe you do got to connect that, and then there's something else that you got to connect to somewhere in this machine, but I don't have the TIG package, so yeah. This is where the power comes into the machine, so there's probably heavier wires running out of that. This is some sort of transformer right here. Even though this is an inverter based, there's actually another transformer here as well. And but the part we're trying to get to today is right here. It looks like it's just this wire pulls out. There's another wire over here that pulls out. And then there's a gas line that runs into the back of it. It looks like I have to pull the motor to get to the gas line. I don't think I'm getting a wrench all the way down in there. So it looks simple enough to pull the drive motor out. Looking at the new one, it looks like it's just 3 screws, and then, like I said, the gas line and the 2 wires. So I'm going to attempt to get this out. I may be able to also take the front cover a bit further away. Maybe that will give me access to that gas line, and I can just replace it as is. But looking at that motor, there's definitely like metal stuck to it. Now I'm no electronics expert, so I don't know if that's normal or not, but I guess we're gonna find out what it looks like when we take it out. So yeah, let's see what happens. Alright, so I got the old drive motor out. It wasn't super difficult, although I did miss this wire right here. That is for the welding power, and then the airline does not have a hose clamp or nothing. This one is so stuck in there, it was easier to just remove the fitting from this piece. So I'll have to remove this fitting and put the old fitting into the new part. I separated the drive motor so you guys can see what all it consists of. This terminal block is for your welding power. And then it's got a big gear on this side for your drive rolls. And then it's got a super tiny little gear on this side. And that's what powers, that's what makes your wire come out. So with all this metal here, I don't know if that's a problem or not, but it looks like they have the paper on the motor to protect it. So I'm going to leave the paper on the new motor as it goes in to the welder. This is really all it is. Nothing super fancy. I kind of want to test this with a multimeter before I go sticking it in the new one into the machine and just see how bad this old one is. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see the multimeter or not, but I tested with the multimeter set on ohms. I tested this old one here, and we're reading about 10 ohms. I'm testing this new one, and that one reads 6 ohms. So I don't know what the tolerance is on these. I don't know what it's supposed to read, but they are different. So I think that we have found the source of the problem. There's too much resistance in that motor, and it's not able to do what it needs to do. So now it is time to put the new motor in the welder. So I'll do that now. Alright, so I got the new drive motor in. If you're worried about these wires going missing or getting put back in the wrong spot, the 2 white wires go up top, and the one colored wire, I think it's red or brown or green or something, that goes down bottom. But it's pretty hard to mess it up considering they don't have enough wire to really go anywhere else. I unplugged them and they just sat where they wanted to sit, which is right where they get plugged in at. So I got those plugged back in. I stole the 3 screws out of the old drive assembly, put them back in the new one. The gas line is hooked up, and the welding lead, which is a wire that sticks out of your machine for your wire feeder. That's what screws into this terminal block right here. So that's hooked back in. Those were both an 11mm wrench I was able to get on them. I think they're supposed to be a standard size, but the metrics seem to work better. These tools I got for free and were sitting around a while. Just some crappy Pittsburgh I got from a scrap pickup. So I don't know if that's the proper size, but 11 seemed to work. So now that I got all this done, it is time to reassemble the machine. Get the cover back in here, put the faceplate back in the machine, and hopefully I can get it fired up and running. Alright, so I changed your guys' angle a little bit. The welder is all put back together. I'm about to test it for functionality, and hopefully it works. So I got my 15-foot lift hooked up. I'm going to turn it on. It's hooked up to the 110 outlet right now. You know, I could hook it up to either the 220 or the 110 in here, but I don't feel like going through the hassle of moving all sorts of heavy cords. So it turns on. That's a good thing. I'm going to raise the wire feed in here a little bit. It's pretty slow turning right now. There it is. I think the inverter's a bit cold, but yeah. It's dry feed right now. Well, I mean, it's hot, but there's no gas. I didn't have the gas turned on at the moment. The drive motor sounds a lot better than the old one did. It's actually working, so that's a positive. And it's working in the right direction, which is also a positive. And now, look at that. We got wire coming out of our gun. I didn't even take the contact tip off for that. So it looks like we got wire now. So now it's time to try to find something to weld. So I'm going to flip this here. Get rid of that. We're going to change our settings. So we'll go back to home. Synergic MIG. Go to 35. Go to 10 gauge. That's all it'll let us do. And then I'm going to turn the gas on. Let that purge for a second. I don't know what's going on, but looks like we're out of gas. So it looks like we got enough gas kind to do a test here. That's really lucky then, because I just finished a job last night. And I must have just ran that cylinder out of gas. So that's pretty wild. Usually you run out before you finish the job. So yeah. I guess we'll get this old test plate out again. Alright, so I'm not going to do anything fancy to it. I'm I'm just gonna lay some wire in here and see what happens. So it looks like we're kind of getting gas, but it's not really a lot. I'm going to try hooking up to a different cylinder. But we got power, it does arc, and there is some gas coming out. Alright, so I've got hooked up to the 9010. I'm going to try this. I'm still hearing some weird sounds in this machine that I don't normally hear. I'm wondering if I don't have the gas block tightened down all the way. I don't know. But I also cannot get my regulator to give me more than 20 cubic feet. So that's pretty strange. It'll give me less, but I can't get more out of it. So I'm wondering if the flow meter isn't frozen. Because what I'm getting out of the machine should not affect the flow meter. What I mean by that is if one of them lines gets cut, I should be seeing on the flow meter that I'm still getting 50 cubic feet per hour or whatever, and I'm not seeing that, so I don't know. That's strange. But I'm going to go ahead and try to weld right here. Definitely very porous, but the wire feed issue went away. Now I have a gas problem, and I'm not sure if the gas problem is related to the machine or my flow meter. I don't know. I don't actually hear any gas coming out of the gun, so I'm going to try to figure that out right now. I hear it coming out by the gas block. But this is also not the correct MIG gun, so I don't know if it's the MIG gun is the problem or the gas block is the problem. I just did something there. Now it sounds like there's a lot of gas coming out of the machine, and still none at the nozzle. But now our flow meter is saying 40 cubic feet or whatever, so that eliminates that. So I think I got to pull the cover back off of this, at least the front cover, find out what's going on with the gas. Alright, so I pulled the face plate off of this. I turned the machine on, it's now running, so everything is live. And then I put this leak detector stuff on that gas line, and it does look like there is a leak somewhere in there. So I don't know if you're supposed to Teflon that fitting or not, but that fitting is where I'm losing the gas. I'm just gonna let that soak in there. and hit it again. Yeah, it's definitely our culprit, so I'm going to see if I can tighten that up and see if I can get that to go away. Yeah. Alright, so still taking apart. I did take the MIG gun out of it, and to set it on cold feed, like if you don't want this to feed, to like purge it, set it for the spool gun, because it's going to try to tell your MIG gun to run wires in the MIG gun. But there's no wires hooked up to this one, so it's pretty much just shutting off your drive rolls if you want the gas to come out but not the wire. So I used some of this junk in the little fitting there. This is old and frozen. I don't know how well it's going to work. I don't know if you're supposed to use that crap, but I did. And now, when you put the leak compound where the MIG gun normally is, and pull the trigger, there's definitely gas coming out of there now. So that I might have fixed the problem. I don't want to put any more of that anti-leak crap on the fitting. Well, yeah, thread compound's in there, so yeah, screw it, we're doing it. Anti-leak going there. I don't know, I'm still seeing a lot of movement up there, but no bubbles. So I don't know if I fixed the problem or not. I guess we'll find out. I'll hook the MIG gun back up and see what happens. Alright, so I don't know if I found the problem here or not, but I thought I was tripping. So I took the drive motor back out. I'll show you the old one here. I don't know if the camera will pick up on it, but inside of there is a little hole. In this one, there is absolutely no daylight, or absolutely no blockage. I can take this MIG wire here, run it through the gas port, and then you can see the MIG wire in there. This is the new assembly, and when you look into that area where the MIG wire was coming out, there is a piece of plastic there. I was able to ram the MIG wire through it. It took a little bit, but that piece of plastic is still there. So I don't think they finished drilling through all this all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and just open that up some more, do what I have to, and then reassemble this thing. But I think that little piece of plastic right there, and I got it. I'll see if I can get it for you. That little black speck on my finger, that is what was causing me the gas issue, I think. Like they didn't finish manufacturing this piece fully. So now I guess I will reassemble it and see what happens. Alright, so new drive assembly, new drive motor. I don't know if I can get this on the camera or not. I'll try. Give it a minute to focus. There's a crack right about where my fingernail is in the new drive assembly. It runs all the way to the bottom. I don't think I did that, so luckily it looks like there's 2 Allen bolts that hold the motor onto the assembly. So I'm going to mark which end is the top, which end is the bottom. Actually, I don't need to because the tape is there. Tape goes forward. And I'm going to put the new motor on the old plastic piece. Alright, so the new motor is on the old plastic piece. It's about ready to go back in, but I wanted to talk about something here. A lot of people ask if you can put the bigger MIG gun, I believe this is the Magnum Pro 250L, on your Lincoln 210 MP, and the answer is yes, you can, but you will have gas issues. The plastic piece that comes with the 210, you know, it sits there. This is where you plug in your MIG gun. You have to grind away. You see that little lip there? This is the old one. You got to grind that down a little bit. Otherwise, your O-rings on the end of the MIG gun. This section right here, it doesn't fit where that hole is. If you leave the plastic doohickey on there, it's that hole that you see there pretty much falls right on the back side of this O-ring, and you need that hole to be in the center of them O-rings. So that's how you get the Magnum Pro 250 on your 210 MP, is to grind that down a little. So yeah, new motor, old plastic piece. I think this is the new assembly here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this back in. All it was a little 3mm Allen key, and that's how I swapped the motors, which is kind of annoying because they make you buy this whole drive assembly, and it appears that the drive assembly that I got is fucked up. So kind of sucks, Lincoln, especially when every other one of my videos is me working on this thing and I don't even use it that much. So yeah, let's get this thing back together and see if it works. Alright, I'm about ready to turn this thing on and see if I got gas at the MIG gun. And I did just realize that although I did not get gas at the MIG gun with the new plastic assembly, that could be because I did not get my little gas pocket from the end of the MIG gun. I would have needed to grind that down. But it doesn't matter anyway because the leak detector was saying that there is still gas flowing out of that crack. So even if I got gas out of the hole there, it's still cracked and doesn't matter anyway. So let's give this a shot here and see what happens. Now I'm only testing for gas right now. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there is gas coming out of the MIG gun now. So that is a positive. I don't have any of the screws fixed in here yet, so I'm going to plug all these things back in and just give her a test weld and see what happens. And then if it works, I will reassemble the faceplate. So I definitely do not want 360 inches a minute. 240, 18, and then the flow meter started working again now too, so that unfroze itself. Yeah, let me get some of this stuff cleaned up here, because there's a lot of it. Trying to get all the parts saved up so I don't get spatter on them. And that way if I need some more parts, I have spare parts. That junk is out of the way. This junk is out of the way enough. And I guess I got to run some of this MIG wire out. So maybe I should have turned it up. Forgot about that. So it sounds like gas is still coming out. The wire's driving. So it looks like we got everything assembled correctly this time, but I'm still going to test it out just to make sure. Alright, so there's our wire. Turn this down, 244, that'll work. Alright, let's see if we got some welding here. Alright, so it works now. Yeah, it works. We got our wire feeding our wire feeder working. We got our gas working. It welds nice. So yeah, I guess that's how you fix your Lincoln wire welder. I did the little swirly thing there for the test. So we got gas and we got wire. So time to reassemble this thing and call it a day. Lincoln, if you're out there, step up your game. ESOB and Fronius are doing way better than you guys right now, at least for these little MIG machines. The advantages are still pretty cool. These things kind of suck. Alright, so I guess that will conclude this video. I just wanted to say a few more things about this machine. If you're a mobile welder out here looking for a new welder in today's day and age, when these things were $1,000 roughly, even up to $1,500, I think it was worth the purchase. Now these things are up over $2,000, and yeah, I'll list all the issues I've had with it. So when you're tossing it in the truck, you see how this HTP, everything is down low, but it's all disconnectable. This Fronius, everything is up high, and you usually leave the MIG gun connected. This Lincoln, everything is also down low. So when it sits in my toolbox, all this crap gets bent up. I don't like that. But if you have, the only way to keep it from sliding is put a shelf system in it, like a 2x4 or something. But when you do that, like this crap, it hits the whatever you use to keep it from sliding back and forth. If they would have put it up a few more inches, this stuff would stay a lot straighter. Another downside, they don't put hose clamps on the inside of the gas line, and they also bury it on this side of the machine, whereas some of the ESOBs, when you open your door, you're going to see gas line that runs up and over and then down to the drive mechanism. So that way, if your gas line comes off, you just pop your door open and you can see what's going on. With this machine, you got to take everything apart. I've heard that the drive rolls or the drive motor goes out if you have too long of a MIG gun, but it only allows you to run like a 10-foot. That's what it comes with. So I'm trying to run a 15. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe this drive motor will burn up again. Maybe it just burn up over time. I don't know. So if it burns up this one, I'm just going back to a 10-foot gun. I'm not going to try to run this 15-footer, but the 15-footer is a lot nicer, especially if you're doing anything like with this table that I have set up and this. It's not a bad gig. If you were building coffee tables or something, but using this on the road, sometimes you want to set the machine down and then be able to work like a 30-foot span, especially when you're building stairs and stuff and handrails. You just want to set this on the middle stair, go down to the bottom, go up to the top. But the 10-footer seems a little short for most things. So if they would get a bigger drive motor, it would eliminate that issue. And then for portability, you have this in the truck the whole time. That way it's ready to go for emergency calls, and you're not taking it in and out and forgetting where you put it. You're not running out at 3 in the morning, trying to leave early, forget it in your shop. It's in the toolbox. So when you're driving down the road, most MIG machines, like the Fronius I have here, on the back side of the spool, they're going to have a little indent thing like a dowel pin that sticks out into this hole here in the spool of wire, and will stop it from unspooling on you as you're going down the road. Lincoln does not, so I had to drill 2 holes in the back of the machine and tie it up with some MIG wire or chicken wire or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I got that going on. And then the problems I've had with this machine is the fans have gone out on me. That got fixed under warranty, luckily. And then just now, the drive motor went out. So I've had those problems, and then also I was MIG welding outside one day, and the wind was kind of strong. So I had the gas cranked up as high as it would go, like 50, 60 cubic feet per minute or whatever they call it. And one of the gas lines inside the machine blew off. If they had hose clamps on there, probably wouldn't have happened. But they just use barbed fittings and hope friction does the rest. So if you crank up your gas too high, you're blowing a gas line. Yeah. Other than that, it's been a decent machine. The other gripe I have is they say that you can hook up a foot pedal to this machine, but in order to do so, you got to drill a hole through your firewall there, pop your cover off to plug things in. Like I said, I think it's that one empty spot on the gas solenoid. So they say you can install a foot pedal and a TIG torch on this machine, but I think that they should have it more readily able to just plug in, and then also you're still only left with a lift arc. It'll never be high frequency, so it's kind of deceiving the way they do that. And then for the stick mode on this, it does struggle. But it's kind of funny because it struggles. Like when I first tried the stick mode, I was like, wow, this runs really smooth. But that's because I was welding with an old Hobart stickmate. And I was just used to really rough running machines. Now I have a bunch of inverters, and the Lincoln here is by far the worst stick welder out of the 3 here. So yeah, if you're trying to use this for mobile work, it is not really cut out for the task at hand. It will work for a while, but for the price they're trying to get for these things now, if you're really looking for a multi-purpose machine, I would check out either Fronius, HTP, or ESOB. Miller and Lincoln are kind of not really stepping up their game with these little machines. The 215 Power MIG might be different. I don't know. I haven't tried it. It would be cool to get my hands on one and test it out for a while. But for right now, this is what I'm running on the truck. And I am seriously considering, if I get the funds, running either an ESOB 285 in here, or getting another 2200 Fronius for the truck, because this thing gives me a lot of problems.